You know what's a really scary topic right now?
What?
The fact that Bruno Mars is $50 million in debt.
Isn't that an old?
I learned this yesterday.
That's an old myth, rumor.
No, isn't it real? Isn't it real?
You know what's so fucking funny? I had heard about this a while ago because I was asking my fiance, hey, where did Bruno Mars go? Because I have not heard a peep from him. And then he released a song with Lady Gaga.
Yes.
And there was this whole fucking trend of just this girl dancing and being like, Lady Gaga coming in to save Bruno Mars from his $50 million debt.
I think he is.
Why though?
Because he went to Vegas and he gambled a little
like
too,
you do.
And he gambled a little too much. So now he does shows in Vegas every single day of his life.
Wow, and he's just stuck
to
there
pay
forever.
it off. To pay it off.
Wow. Bruno Mars, if you're here, please confirm or deny.
I thought it was real. I didn't know it was alleged.
I'm just kidding. It's because I just kind of heard it a while ago. And I was just like, not Bruno Mars.
Damn. And here I was thinking he was one of the people. If I was in that much debt,
dude, I would lose my mind. Yeah,
I'm already losing my mind at the idea of it.
I mean, our student debt makes me lose my mind.
No, same. Well, I just feel like that's such a peak thing to think about during spooky season. You know,
being
what I mean?
in debt, that's the real
that's
horror.
The scariest thing. You go to a haunted house and one of the rooms just has a computer with like your login to pay your loans.
Oh my god,
like,
that's so scary. I thought you were gonna say it was gonna be like a computer open to some fucking
my bank
the
statements.
jackpot. No, the jackpot, like a casino, and it's just like you lost 100, you lost 20, you lost 1,000. You know what I mean? It just
that's why I don't
piles
gamble.
up.
I don't gamble because I'd get too sad.
I don't gamble because I don't want to become addicted.
Bruno Mars?
I don't want to be addicted and become Bruno Mars.
No, I get you.
Are we supposed to say allegedly? Is that something?
Yeah, it happened in Minecraft. The whole thing happened in Minecraft.
I never know when we're supposed to say allegedly. Like,
it's not like
if
we're
it's
coming
serious.
You think Bruno is gonna watch this and he's gonna be like, I fucking knew those girls had it out for me?
Yeah, the book fakes, those girls, I don't fucking trust them. Out of everyone.
Isn't it weird to think that? I don't think people do this now, but down the line, when our following grows a little more, people are going to be like, oh yeah, that's the book fix. Isn't that weird that we're like a plural now?
Yeah, that's weird. Well, just weird to think about.
Yeah. Good for us.
Yeah, when that happens, we've made it.
I know.
And then we can retire. Buy a townhouse. Buy a couple goldfish.
I would love that. But I feel like based on all the books we're reading this month and next month, maybe moving into a little suburban town isn't really the best idea.
Why not?
I feel like shit always goes down in little towns.
Well, I kind of want to test it out and see what happens.
No, hell
what
no.
happens to us.
We go on our little bike rides. Oh, no.
It's always a bike ride.
It's always a bike ride. Do you think the unsolved mysteries of a little town can fix your life?
I think so.
I hope not.
I think so, but not in the way of me being a part of it. Just I want to be like detached from the situation.
Okay, I get it and I understand it and I'm here for it. Welcome to the Book Fix podcast, a podcast where we fix lives one book at a time. I am your host, Cheli.
And I'm your host, Yajaira. So this is our first Riley Sager book, which Riley Sager is a very big author.
Yeah.
I think in the thriller world, this is kind of supernatural thriller, but like not really.
Not really.
Just a hint of it.
Okay.
A tiny hint.
It's a thriller, but it also just happens to be supernatural. That's what it is. That's literally what it is.
No, it's not. But it's not, though. You think it is, but it's not, though. It could be.
But it's not.
But it's not. Okay, so last year when we did our spooky season, I don't know if you remember.
I do.
But we were supposed to read a Riley Sager book. It was called Only One Left, I think. It's the one with the mountain and the house on the mountain, or the cliff, and the house right on the cliff, and it's like blue text.
I don't mean to come for spooky authors, but that just sounds like every cover I've ever seen.
That is so fucked up. Actually, you know what's so funny? There was this other book, because I've been looking to see what books are trending right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's called The Last House on the Resort, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
It looks exactly like that book cover, except it's more colorful.
Yeah.
More like pinks and purples, I think. But anyway, so we were supposed to do Riley Sager last year. I don't remember why we didn't, but I did end up reading that book.
Did you like it?
I did. I thought it was fun, fresh, a little different. But I want to make a comment, but I'm going to hold off until at the end, which I hate when we say that because sometimes we never fucking say.
Sometimes we put pins in it and then
we never get back to it. So if you remember.
Okay.
I hope you remember.
Okay, I'll remember.
Our two brain cells just
I'll put a pin in it.
rubbing together like, please remember.
Oh my gosh.
So today we're going to be talking about Middle of the Night by Riley Sager.
Mm-hmm.
And this book, if I could just like summarize it very quickly.
Okay.
It's just a bunch of red herrings in one book. That's this book.
Yeah.
You think you know where this story is going? You're wrong. I'm curious, before we actually talk about the story, do you think that you knew how it was going to turn out?
No.
No,
not at all.
It was so fucking funny. I need to show you my notes because my brain, it was like this web behind us. My brain was literally like, oh, it's not this, then you know what? It's going to be that. And I was right. And I was like, hell yeah, I fucking knew it. And then it's like, no, it's actually this. And I'm like, oh wait, you know what? I actually knew that too. That was my second guess.
I love that.
So this story is about Ethan Marsh and his friend Billy. And they on Fridays they used to love tenting outside of Ethan's house in the backyard.
But wasn't this like a big deal to the moms? Weren't they just like, our son's gonna be safe out there? You never know what happens outside. Only
one time. Okay. So most of the time it was pretty chill. Nobody cared. The moms were fine with it.
Yeah.
Except on this one Friday in July 16th, 17th, whatever, one of those days. They saw something weird in the forest. There was like rumors of this weird guy hanging around in the forest, and Billy's mom was like, hey, maybe we should cancel. Maybe we should cancel the tent meetup, because the tent sleepover, because I saw this weird guy in the forest. And Ethan, who is the main character, Ethan's mom was like, no, I think it's chill. I think it's fine. Nothing's going to happen in the backyard.
Yeah.
And then it did.
Because how old were they when this incident occurred?
I think they were 10. So it's been 30 years?
Yes.
Are they literally 40?
I think it has been 30 years.
I know for a fact 40. It's been 30 years.
He's 36, right? I think.
Oh my God. No, but I could have sworn they were like 10.
They were 10 when it happened. But the only memory Ethan has of this situation, because when he was a kid, him and Billy tented outside and he just slept through the entire incident. So in his mind, all he remembers is hearing the rip of the tent as it was being sliced open. And that's it.
So someone cut into the tent.
Yes.
And when he woke up, he looks over. Billy is gone. Billy was his best friend as a child. And
him being a child, not understanding the severity of the situation, was just kind of like, oh, Billy's gone. And then goes to ask his parents, and then it grows into like, oh, and Billy's gone.
The parents go to ask Billy's parents, and it's like, what do you mean Billy was with you? And so it's just this big mystery of Billy going missing as a child and no one knowing what the hell happened to him.
So I thought this story, because I don't remember, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go through this story in a really weird pattern because so much shit happened.
Yeah, okay. So much shit. Like I said,
what do you want to say first?
Like I said, red herrings. I just want to say the that everything that we just said was in the past. In the present, Ethan is 40 and he is back at home at his childhood home because his parents moved to Florida. And so he's kind of just like grappling with just not knowing whatever happened to his best friend. And he has insomnia. He gets a lot of nightmares that he doesn't really remember them.
He talks about his ex-wife, Claudia, fondly, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he would message her, leave her voicemails.
Yeah.
And he said that it fell apart because she wanted kids and he didn't.
Yes. And I think very early on in the story, doesn't he rekindle a friendship with, is her name Anna?
Yes.
Is that her name?
I think so.
Yeah, she's working at, I don't know if she's a barista or not. What is she? What is she working at where they meet each other for the first time in a while?
Oh, well, as adults?
Yeah.
Wasn't she just taking care of her dad?
Was she?
Yeah, she was just taking care of her dad.
Okay.
I don't remember if she had another job, but if she did have another job, I just assumed it was like caretaker.
Okay, I might be wrong. But she used to be his babysitter?
Yeah, when they were younger.
When he was 10 and she was 15.
Mm-hmm. And he had a major crush on her.
Dude, that's so funny.
but it was hilarious because it was like, yeah, everybody had a crush on her.
It was funny though, because I don't know if you remember that scene where it described the first time in the past when his mom lost...
Ashley. Her name's Ashley.
When her mom lost her job. And that's like a very big point in the story. But as a child, Ethan didn't understand the severity of the mom losing her job. So to him was like, if mom doesn't have a job, I'm not going to have Ashley as a babysitter anymore.
I'm not going to need a fucking babysitter. And this is tragic.
Mom, why don't you just work again? Like,
why don't you just like work somewhere else? Here's a crazy thought.
So he is in his childhood home and he still has this trauma with what happened. And it sucks because every time he dreams about it, it always just cuts off there.
With the screech. Which it's screech, which is the cutting into the tent, right?
Yeah.
That's what I assumed it was.
Yeah.
But he never is able to remember what it is. And it sucks because he recalls when he was a boy, Billy's mom going towards him. Oh, by the way, Billy had a little brother.
Yeah.
Named
Little Billy.
Little Billy.
I don't remember the brother's
There's
name.
so many characters in this book. But anyway, so he remembers that Billy's mom and the little brother went up to him as a child and being like, you have to be able to remember something. Like, there's something that must have happened during that night that could help the investigation. And he was like, I'm sorry, but I can't remember anything.
Yeah. And it sucks because he went through so many therapists.
And yeah, when they tried to, they tried to hypnotize him to try to remember what happened, but nothing worked.
Damn. It really sucks. So when was Billy's body discovered?
So it wasn't discovered until our main character, Ethan, was starting to kind of like investigate. And you know what it was? It was because when he was at his childhood home, he started receiving little softballs or the baseballs.
Oh, yeah.
And he remembered that the baseball going into his backyard meant that Billy wanted for him to find him, basically. It was like a thing when they were children. Billy was like, if you see a baseball, that means I need you to come find me. And he was like, what the fuck, Billy? And it was also a combination of Ashley's dad, because Ashley's dad was sick. And he would tell Ethan, hey, I saw what was Billy's last name?
I don't remember.
Strong. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Let's just say he said last name Boy. I saw that boy out here.
Which is weird because he'd be a man right now.
He would be a man right now. And so once he started to investigate, and remember he started looking into the missing children's website.
Yeah.
And they showed him what he would look like, what Billy would have looked like.
Yeah.
Aged up. I think after that, that's when the police officer, what was his name?
His friend, right?
No, that's Russ. What was his name? Oh my God. I should have written everyone's names down.
Dude, like I said, this one had so many names. I remember me, Ethan, God. That's my 3. I have a question while you're looking for this. Do you actually believe that this was a ghost story?
That is a really big question. That is a really big question.
Or is it just, or did Riley just put us in this roller coaster of just a bunch of coincidences?
I think it was just a couple of coincidences.
I do too.
Minus that one moment when there was a ghost that we can. That's literally at the end.
There wasn't a ghost though. That was just a little.
That was God.
I know. No, it wasn't a ghost. We all just happened to see the same dead boy.
Oh my God. Okay, because Russ had a brother named Johnny. Johnny had a best friend named...
Oh, you're right. His
Ragesh.
name was Johnny Ragesh.
Ragesh
yes.
was a police officer.
Yes.
So Ragesh...
I love him, by the way.
Yeah, so he ends up calling... I forgot the beats. Go read the book.
Yeah.
By the way, there's going to be spoilers in this episode. Forgot to say that. If you're this deep in, you know by now.
I love that.
So Ragesh calls Ethan, I think, and he's like, hey, why are you investigating this? It's kind of weird. Also, it's weird because we just found a body, and I'm pretty sure it's Billy's.
Oh, you found my best friend?
Yeah.
I happen to make him this bracelet.
Can you please put it on him, please?
He's a skeletal man right now, so skeletal boy. He passed away
as a child.
That makes me so sad.
That makes me so sad too. But when Ragesh saw Billy's body, it was decomposed, obviously, but based on the way that the skeleton looked, he told Ethan, this looks like a homicide. This looks like somebody straight up murdered him.
Because he died with struggle, so it wasn't an easy passing.
Or just like...
something happened.
Something went wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the way that it happened was they found him in the lake. Mm-hmm. And there's like a cliff that leads down to the lake. And so it was down there where they found his body. So if he were to have just fallen, there would be no reason why it looked like he was hit.
Yeah. So this is so sad because I feel like Ethan in this story, at least before the last few chapters, I felt like he was really reaching because he was like, Billy wanted me to find him. Mm. That's why that's why there's softballs in my fucking yard.
Mm. Well, I mean, even at the end, close to the end, and at the end, it felt like that was his thought process. Like, oh, Billy wants me to find his body. Or wants me to uncover this. But you know what? This book did that I think... Well, I think you like. I think you like the unreliable narrator.
I do.
Because Ethan reveals that because of his insomnia, he doesn't really know what's real. Or he's kind of struggling with his reality.
Like, is he even real? No, I get it.
No, like...
No, I get what you mean.
He's starting to think that, wait, did I do something to Billy? Because everyone is starting to believe, hey, Billy left that tent on his own accord. So... maybe you had something to do with this. And
because there was no sense of struggle.
And also he left his shoes behind.
Yeah. And
so now Ethan is starting to think, wait, did I do something to him? Fuck, I don't remember. There's
this, but then there is also the fact that the night before, I don't know if it was the night before, but they had broken in.
That same day?
Oh, man, they were a crazy group. Of that same day.
So that same day, Billy showed up.
Yes.
Let's talk about Billy first.
Okay.
Billy is a character who's always been really interested in ghosts. Mm-hmm. He really believes that ghosts exist. And he's just, I don't remember why, like what stemmed from it, but I do remember that he had like a book all about ghosts, like an encyclopedia, if you will.
Yeah.
And so the night before he went missing, he broke in to the institute. There's an institute that's like right outside of like the forest.
Yes.
And he broke in, and Fritz Van something.
Yeah.
I forgot. He was already like an older man. Mm-hmm. Or, a señor at that point. And so he catches him and he's like, what are you doing here? You can't just break into the institution. Yeah. And for some reason, he ends up meeting the founder of the institution.
Hawthorne? Mm-hmm. Right?
He meets the Hawthorne guy.
The guy.
The man. And so then he ends up sparking a conversation with him, and they start talking about seeing ghosts and just like the afterlife. And it almost feels like they became best friends after that moment. And so that happened the day before he went missing. So the day that he went missing, he went up to Ethan and was like, hey, let's go on an adventure. Come on. And Russ, which was also a neighbor who was the same age as them, was there and just tagged along. Russ really wanted friends. So he was like, you know what? I'm down. I'm scared, but I'm down.
If it could be me and my 2 best friends, I'd do anything for you guys.
Well, he really did not give a fuck about Billy. He just really wanted to impress Ethan. He wanted to be Ethan's friend. But anyway, so they end up going through the forest, and Ashley Ashley ends up tagging along because she's the babysitter. And she's like, Ethan, I need to take care of you.
But so does Ragesh?
Well, they're walking into the forest, and that's where they meet Ragesh. He's there. Yeah. He's already chilling there.
Yeah. Wait. Can I ask something? What's happened to Johnny at this point?
So Johnny has already passed away. So Johnny is Russ's older, cooler, stronger, faster brother.
Okay.
And he died by suicide.
Yes.
Overdose.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And Johnny was Ragesh's best friend. And so Ragesh is in mourning. Or I think he's been in mourning. Like it's been a minute now, but he's still in mourning.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
And so... yeah, so they end up going to, there's like a cemetery, no? I remember there was like some sort of fucking gate that they broke into.
Honestly, the only biggest thing that matters here is that they all go deep into the Hawthorne Institute.
Well, they don't go into it yet because remember there's like, you know those like cemetery like thing, like a tomb where it's like just a family's tomb?
Yes.
And there's like a gate in front of it. That's what it was. Remember he broke into the gate, but then he couldn't come out?
And then you're talking about Billy.
Yeah.
Billy broke in. He couldn't come out. And then did they hear people?
So yeah, I think it was Fritz, the older man, who I think is security or something. I don't even know.
He comes over and then in front of all the other kids, but Ethan hears it. He hears him look at Billy and go like, I told you not to come here again. And I like how Ethan's first thought is like, wait. He's over here having fun without me? Oh, okay. No, I see how it is.
It's because he was pissed because Ragesh was like, I'm not going to get in trouble when this was your idea.
Yeah.
This is all on you. And Russ, the little enojon, the little angry dude was like, you know what? Yeah, this was your idea. I'm not going to get in trouble for this. So they end up running away. It's just Ashley, Ethan, and Billy left. And then when they see Fritz, Ashley's pulling Ethan. Yeah. And Ethan's trying to pull Billy, but he's on the other side of the gate. And once Ethan hears, you're here again, basically, he was like, you came already? You know what? I don't even care then. So then they end up leaving him.
And I think there's a moment where all of the kids are standing together and Ethan's like, we have to go back for him. I was like, no, but he knew the guy who stopped him. So the worst thing in the world that's going to happen is they're going to call his parents.
Well, they didn't hear that. Only Ethan knew about that. About him being like, you're here again. Remember they didn't recognize him?
But I think the way to calm Ethan down is one of them was like, all they're going to do is probably call his parents.
And that's it. It's chill.
And Ethan's like, you know what? You're totally right, Kings and Ashley.
Well, he put it to a vote. And everyone voted to not do anything about it, basically.
So then at night, during their little camping thing,
Ethan didn't even think that Billy was going to show up because he thought that he was going to be really mad at him. Mm-hmm. But he showed up.
It makes me so sad. Like, I feel like this story, everything that happened
was just so unfortunate.
Yeah. It literally was just bad timing with everything. So I feel like we should talk about what happened in the past first. I feel like we should complete what happened in the past.
Yeah. So when they're in the tent, you mean?
Yeah.
When they're going to have their final tent sleepover.
Yeah.
So they're in there, and Ethan had said that they didn't really talk about the situation for a while. Like, they were playing board games. They were just like looking at the stars, whatever the fuck you do at a sleepover. Yeah. And then once they were ready to sleep, that's when they brought it up. And I think Billy didn't want to tell him too much, but I forgot why, but he does mention ghosts. Like, he mentions ghosts again, because that's his thing. He loves ghosts.
Because isn't he mentioned too, like, I think Ethan's like, why didn't you tell me you've been there before? And he's like, well, you're not into
what I'm into.
If it's that ghost shit, I'll get into it, bitch.
No, he was not into it.
No, I'll play along.
Don't you remember when he was like, if you love ghosts so much, why don't you go die and become one?
Oh, dude, that was so fucked up. And even after he says it, he's just like, you know what I mean it, right, Billy? Like,
right, Billy?
Billy, you know when I said go kill yourself? I didn't mean it.
Oh,
kids are so fucked up sometimes.
Kids are like, when I read this, I was like, ooh, that really hurt. But also, when you're a child, you don't really think,
about what you're gonna say.
Think about the weight of your words.
Yep.
But Billy just kind of played it off. He was like, Hakuna Matata.
Okay.
Chill. I don't care. Okay. But that was his final word, Hakuna Matata. That was the last thing he ever said to him. Mm-hmm. And then they went to sleep. Next day,
Billy's gone. And never see him again.
Mm-hmm.
So it really sucks. And the reason we call this like a ghost supernatural thriller is because there's little situations where things are happening where it feels like Billy's trying to communicate to Ethan. Because there's another moment where Ethan wakes up from his beautiful slumber and he's over here like, I think someone broke in. I can't find my notebook. I left it right on my dresser or right next to me when I sleep. And he's like reaching over, but then when he takes a step to get off of his bed, it's on the floor. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm just freaking myself out over nothing. And he opens it on the last page. It says Hakuna Matata. And he freaks out because the only person that knows that was Billy's catchphrase is him.
Yeah.
So he immediately goes over to Ashley's house and he's like, do you fucking have my spare key? Where's my spare key? And she freaks out, but they find it. And he's just kind of
Wasn't it Russ? Because it was the house next door. Don't you remember?
You're right. It was Russ.
It was Russ's wife that he was talking to.
You're right.
Which I don't remember her name. But it's because they had this system where every house to your left would have your spare key. I don't know why.
Beautiful, I guess.
Very orderly of them. Something else that we didn't mention. The other supernatural element to this, besides the Hakuna Matata, which that would send me over the edge, was also, don't you remember that Russ has a shop? Like a little shop where you get like random camping gear and random sport. It reminds me of like a sports and camping and outdoorsy store. You know what I mean? So he went there and he bought this like really expensive camera security set for his house because he felt like he was being watched. And then also the baseball situation. Yeah. He wanted to catch who was doing this. And so Ethan bought this whole thing, this whole setup, set it up, and then when he would look back at the footage, he saw this like dark silhouette. And he remembers Billy talking about ghosts, and there was this one page on his book which was gifted to Ethan after Billy passed away, was the Ghost Encyclopedia. He goes to this Ghost Encyclopedia and it mentions black figures, and that's also another ghost sighting potentially. And that was another supernatural element. But then also we forgot to mention there's another character who's very important here.
Who?
Ashley's son.
Henry. I love Henry.
Because I love
so sweet.
I love the moments when Ashley would tell Ethan, hey, I know you never wanted kids, but can you watch my sweet son?
My sweet, beautiful boy?
Can you watch my son, please? I have to take my dad to the hospital or the doctor. Can you please just watch him real fast? He's really good. He's really good. And then those moments when Ethan was like, what do kids even eat these days? I thought that was so funny. Like, what do you mean? What do they eat?
They eat what you eat.
They eat what you eat, literally.
He was such a sweet kid.
Mm-hmm. But then there's so many characters in this book. There's a detective who is super sure that whoever killed Billy is because they all lived in a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
He's like, it's somebody in this cul-de-sac. I just know it.
I just know it.
And so what Ethan ends up doing is buying a tent.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to the tent. He tries to sleep in it for a minute. Tries to use it to remind him of what occurred that night. Doesn't work. And so this lady detective shows up again, and he's like, hey, can you do me a favor? While I'm sleeping, can you cut the tent? Because I feel like if you cut it, then it's going to trigger something.
Yes. Don't tell me when you do it. I'm going to take a little siesta.
Mm-hmm.
So he does that. And when the tent is cut open, he has like an extension of his memory. And in that extension, he sees the face of the person who cut the tent open.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he's like, oh, shit. I don't remember who's there. Henry, hold my shit.
Henry's not there.
Leaves a child by himself. He like goes over. He runs to Russ's house. Mm-hmm. And then he goes up to Russ. It's like, bitch, I knew it. I knew it from day fucking one.
Which was kind of sad because they were kind of rekindling their friendship.
I know. He comes in. Russ is like on the floor kicking his feet, like making a Taylor Swift friendship bracelet. I love Ethan. Mm-hmm. It makes me sad because, like everything that happened in this story, a lot of the biggest regrets were when they were children and it wasn't technically their fault. Mm-hmm. So if I remember correctly, Russ was jealous of the friendship that Billy and Ethan had, but more because he kind of just really wanted Ethan as a friend.
Yeah.
So he heard that they had been camping every Friday together. So he went over and just ripped the tent up with a knife. And that was it. That's all he did. He just ripped it and left.
Yeah. So when Ethan is accusing him of, oh, I know what you fucking did 30 years ago, Russ is like, oh, fuck, okay, you caught me. I hate this shit when he's just like, you're right, it was me. He's like, yeah, you killed my best friend. He's like, killed? No, I just cut the tent. What do you mean?
Cut the tent. I went home and I cried for like 3 hours. You don't do that.
That was...
I am glad it wasn't Russ. I do want to say, though, just to end Russ's story, it makes me sad that at the end of the book, when they talk about Russ, it's very much like, we don't hate each other, but...
we're not friends. Ugh. They can never... Are you kidding me? You think you could be friends with someone who thinks you murdered their best friend?
I would feel so bad. I don't know. I feel bad for Russ. I imagine him with like fucking 40 friendship bracelets with Ethan's name on it.
That he just made himself.
Yeah.
I felt bad for Russ too.
But I feel bad for a lot of these characters. Mm-hmm. I just feel like it just sucks.
Because when he was a little boy, he was just described to be angry all the time. Mm-hmm. And his mom actually caught him when he came back that night after cutting up the tent. She found the knife, stashed it somewhere, and was like, you know what? I already lost one son. I am not losing another.
Yeah.
Because that was after Johnny's death.
Yeah. Oh, that's I felt so bad for her. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's not Russ.
It's not Russ.
Now
but let me just say, when it was like, it was Russ, I was like, I fucking knew it. I was like, you know what? That little bitch, he was real jealous.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It all made sense. And then it was like, oh, it's not Russ. And you're like, no, I knew that.
Well, because every fucking chapter was a new suspect. I was like, are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm surprised Barkley wasn't fucking the one who had something to do with Billy's death. Berkeley?
I don't even remember.
It was Ethan's dog when he was a child.
Well, another thing is revealed that we didn't talk much about. The Hawthorne Institute. There's a moment where Ethan breaks in to get more information. Mm-hmm. And he finds an old picture of Billy, Johnny, and his mom, I think. Right? I don't remember if they're in the same picture, but Billy and Johnny were in the picture.
They weren't in it together, though.
Oh, they were?
He just saw a bunch of pictures. And then he saw a picture of Johnny with the Hawthorne guy, the main guy.
Yeah.
And then he just stole a bunch of photos. And then later when he was looking at them, he was like, wait, why is my mom here?
Yeah. And then he connects the dots and is like, wait a minute. my mom got fired from this job because she saw something she wasn't supposed to.
Well, he's just assuming that. Yeah.
And calls her and she kind of like reveals like, yeah, I did see something, but I can't talk about it. I signed an NDA. I was like, yeah, but mom,
Hawthorne is dead.
NDAs don't count if it's to your loving son, Ethan. It's like, oh.
She does end up telling him, though, that she went back to work. Well, she went back to the Hawthorne Institute after her working hours because she had forgotten this watch that she bought Ethan. But she told him that she bought it for her dad. I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah.
That she lied to him. Mothers. And so she goes back to the Institute, breaks in. Well, she's about to break in. And then she notices in the backyard, there's like a whole fucking cult happening.
There's like
culty
little
things.
Yeah, just culty things. What did she do? It was
just a group of people in
ceremony.
In robes.
No, not ceremony. What word did she use?
It was people in robes and they were offering like a heart or something.
Yeah.
And there was like blood all over them. It was this whole fucking thing.
No, I don't get paid enough for this, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to go.
Well, the security guy found her, which was Fritz.
Yeah. And she signs off that she didn't see anything. Can't talk about it. And then she gets fired. And she was super upset about it as a kid. But Ethan was super upset about not seeing Ashley. So, I mean, like...
Yeah.
He didn't realize how big of a deal that was.
You mean she was upset about it when he was a kid?
Yes.
Because he said as a kid. She wasn't a kid. She was
a full
young
adult.
lady.
Yeah. No, but he has this moment of closure. It's like, okay, it's not Russ. It's not my parents.
He goes to Fritz next.
Does he? Okay.
Yeah, because he's like, what were you hiding? He thinks the Hawthorne Institute has something to do with it, but obviously because the main guy is long gone, he goes to Fritz and tells... Because he's over here filling in the blanks himself. He's like, oh, maybe you meant to kill me that night.
Yeah.
And accidentally grabbed Billy because maybe he thought that Ethan's mom was going to say something about this whole cult thing.
You're right.
And he goes up to Fritz and Fritz is just like, whoa, that did not happen at all. You're imagining things that didn't actually happen. So it was a him.
It was a him. Who does it go to next?
God.
Just the end?
Literally everyone. But I did think it was interesting when Fritz explained to Ethan that the Hawthorne family were like pretty nice, actually. That heart that they had, it was, like a farm cow. Like that cow was already in the slaughterhouse, so it was fine.
It's kind of weird because like the entire occult and like their beliefs in ghosts and the afterlife and being able to talk to it, that has nothing to do with the story.
It has a lot to do with Billy.
That's just Bill. That was just Billy's interests. It literally has. I thought it was gonna be like, no, we're gonna see like a whole demonic ass Billy come out of the ground.
Oh my God, imagine.
No,
that would be really sad.
Can we get to the end?
Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's any other... Well, I mean, Ethan was another suspect, but...
I mean, Ethan, like you said, he was an unreliable narrator, so he was having moments like, what if I did something?
But he didn't. Spoiler alert.
He's good. Okay.
By the way, who was your suspect number one? I'm very curious.
I thought it was going to be like Russ. And then when it wasn't, I was like, okay, there goes my ideas. That was it.
I thought it was going to be Russ or Ethan's mom.
I thought Johnny was going to be alive, and then he wasn't. And then I was like, oh.
Can I just say...
That story made me so sad.
I thought it was so sad when Ragesh, which was Johnny's best friend, when he would think about Johnny, it would hurt him because one of the last memories he had of him was that they did like this whole smoking thing.
Yeah.
I don't smoke, so I have no idea. But he like Johnny inhaled it, and then he put his lips on Ragesh's lips to pass it on. But Ragesh was like, whoa there.
Wait, is he just passing it on, or are we like...
Well, to Ragesh, he was like, oh, wait, he kissed me.
Yeah.
And he kind of like freaks out on him, and Johnny's like, oh, sorry, it's just... But
even Johnny meant it as a kiss, right?
Did he?
I don't know, but I remember right after that is when his overdose happens.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it when Ragesh, I think it's Ethan when he's like, well, what if Johnny had something to do with it? He's like, no, don't include
Johnny into
Johnny.
this. Mm-hmm.
I just like that it was always shut down.
But what if it was? Can you imagine?
No.
Johnny's alive. But I thought it was really sad because Ragesh, when he would think back on this memory, he would say, I never got to tell him that I actually kind of liked it.
Aww.
I actually kind of liked the kiss a little bit.
That makes me sad.
And then he's married to a man.
Yeah.
You know, in present day.
Yeah.
So
it makes me sad.
Fuck.
That's a lot of these characters though that make me sad.
Yeah, same.
So now
in present day, I forgot exactly the beats of this, but Ashley reaches out to Ethan for some reason. Oh, I think it's because she can't find Henry. But then Ethan gets a notification on his phone of movement, and then he sees that he's there, right? Like he sees him there in the tent in the backyard, and he's like, "Oh, it's fine. He's just in my backyard. We can just go over there, right?" But then there's a bunch of like clicks happening again. You know, the little ding, 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 the notification. Yeah. He sees it again, and it looks like he was snatched. He was taken.
Yeah.
And I might be telling this wrong, but whatever. So then they go after whoever took him. They end up in the same cliff where they found Billy's body, you know, down there where it's the lake. And it's Billy's brother. Billy's little brother. Yeah. And this whole time, Billy's little brother, oh my God, I feel bad that I don't remember his name, but
yeah, little Billy.
The little Billy.
Yeah.
He has been MIA this whole time. But he ended up hearing that Ethan was back and that Billy's body was found, and he is convinced Ethan knows something. He knows something and he's not spilling it, or that he had something to do with Billy's death.
Yeah.
Because as he's like holding Henry, which is Ashley's son, literally like near the cliff, he's saying, I know you had something to do with it because I was there that night. I was outside of the tent when you told Billy that if he loved ghosts so much, why don't he go die and become one?
Okay, why is everyone in my fucking backyard on the same day?
You know what's so fucking funny? Oh my God. Have you seen Pretty Little Liars? So literally the night that Billy disappears parallels to Alison De Laurentiis' disappearance, you know, on Pretty Little Liars. Because the night that Allison disappeared, this is not a spoiler, I hope.
It's been a while.
It's been out for a while. Was a whole fucking meet and greet. That girl saw everybody in the town. Same thing with Billy. Apparently everyone in town was just around that night. Or a little too close. A little too close to him. So Billy's brother is telling Ethan, I know you had something to do with it because of what you said. And so he's holding Ethan, ready to drop that little boy.
You holding Henry.
Oh, sorry. Holding Henry, ready to shove him or whatever. And then Ashley breaks. What does Ashley say?
Ashley's like, hold on. I have a confession to make.
Yeah.
So she at that time, so this is after they broke into the Hawthorne Institute, the camp, the tent in his backyard's going on. She's drunk, from what I remember.
She's drunk driving.
And because she just figured out that she's pregnant. Right? Is this what it is?
No.
Isn't that what it is? I thought that's why she was upset.
But Henry would be way bigger. Henry was a child.
Oh, I thought she lost the baby. Okay, never mind. I know that she's pregnant and she's upset. And she's drunk driving.
Oh, is she pregnant?
I thought she was.
I don't remember her being pregnant.
But I do know that she's very distraught. And she sees something in the road. And because she's drunk, can't react and hits it. And she knows it's not an animal. So she walks out and she sees Billy.
So Billy, when he woke up and he saw that cut in his tent, he thought it was a ghost.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh my God, a ghost is calling me. So that's why he left the tent willingly, forgot his shoes, was walking down the forest. And he just was like, oh my God, there's a ghost that's calling me. And that's how it played out.
So I don't remember why she thought she couldn't tell anyone.
She was sitting there waiting for someone to find her and Billy's body, but
no one came.
So she kind of took this as a sign.
Yeah, so she threw him in.
She had a blanket in her trunk, wrapped him in the blanket, and threw him off of the cliff.
That's so sad. Do you think he was still alive?
God, I don't know. That makes me so sad to think about.
Yeah.
I hope not.
I feel like he might have been. It sucks, but I mean, she was drunk. She wouldn't have noticed either way.
Mm-hmm.
And
God, I'm pretty sure that sobered her up really quickly.
Oh, yeah. Well, after that was revealed, how did little Billy respond?
He broke down. He got down on his knees and he was just bawling. He was
I knew it wasn't Ethan.
No, he was just really overwhelmed. But I think it's also, I don't know. I feel like you probably feel this huge weight off of your shoulders. Like, oh my God, I finally know what happened to my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's trying to talk to Henry, her son. And then Henry's like, don't touch me. And then he ends up falling down the cliff. And Ethan, without another second thought, he jumps down for him.
My guy.
Yeah. And then what happens when they're in the water?
I don't remember.
So when they're in the water, he can't find Henry. Remember? And then all of a sudden, he feels a small hand leading him to safety. He gets to, I don't know, some fucking safe area. He's out of the water now.
And he has Henry.
And, well, Henry's already there.
Yeah.
And Henry's coughing. He's coughing. He's just like, wait, did you feel that? And he's like, yeah, that was Billy. He's
well,
just like,
Henry
that was your friend, actually.
Because Henry says, like, did you see that little boy that was in the water? Water?
It was Ethan.
Ethan says that?
Ethan says that.
Okay.
Because he's trying to confirm it.
Yeah. Because I thought he didn't want to say anything because he's like, I don't want to scare him. But Henry's the one.
Oh, you might be right then. It might have been him who said it then.
And then after Henry says that, Ethan was like, that was my best friend.
That was actually Billy?
That was my best friend out there. And Henry's like, oh, okay, that's chill.
I really don't care.
Yeah, I almost died right now, so I'm going to go to sleep.
I think it was also life-changing for Ethan in the same way that it was for Billy's little brother to finally have the truth out.
Yeah.
For him to have felt Billy leading him to safety, because this whole time he thought that Billy hated him.
Yeah.
For not knowing what happened to him, or not. Also for what he said to him.
Yes.
One of his final words to him was to go die. So I feel like he really believed that Billy wanted nothing to do with him, or was just haunting him just for the hell of it, you know?
Do you think that actually happened? Do you think there was actually a ghost?
Yes.
That led him to Henry?
Yes, but I know that the baseballs that he was receiving was actually Billy's brother.
Yeah.
And that black silhouette that he saw, I know that was Billy's brother.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, and then the whole Hakuna Matata thing that showed up on his notebook, I'm assuming it was his brother, but that could have been Billy.
That could have also been Ethan, though.
Oh my God, don't say that.
Ethan,
why does that scare me?
No, but I mean, Ethan could have done it like he was half awake.
But it wasn't his handwriting. Didn't he mention something about the handwriting?
You can always forge someone's handwriting. And he's also half awake.
I'm not good at that, so I don't think so.
I think it was Ethan.
Are you insinuating something about my good friend Ethan?
I just think that Ethan had so much trauma. Mm-hmm. Boy had no sleep in him.
That's true. So
I don't think he saw what he think he saw. But I think that for his sanity, I will say he did.
What do you mean?
Because I feel like if that kind of closes the chapter for him. Okay. You know what? Billy didn't hate me at the end. But who are we to know how Billy felt at the end?
Yeah.
But he was also a child. So
you're saying you don't think Billy saved him?
I don't think so.
Really?
No, I don't.
But Henry confirmed it.
Yeah, but Henry could have seen anything.
Well, but Henry was already to safety.
Yeah, he was.
So
no one said this, but Henry's a good swimmer.
So who pulled him then if it wasn't?
I don't know, because the only thing I do remember, which proves that like it could have been a ghost, was that Henry is the first one to say, "Did you see that little boy?" So
I think that's the only supernatural instance in this book. That's why it's not really supernatural thriller, but it is, but it's not. but it is.
That's crazy.
But it's not.
That's crazy if it is.
So the point that I wanted to make, so I haven't really read a lot of Riley Sager. The only one that I did was the only one left.
Oh, is this your pin from the beginning?
This is my pin from the beginning.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding me, Queen.
Yeah.
So in that book, same thing where you think it's supernatural, but everything gets explained at the end. I don't think that one had anything supernatural in it, but I do think this one did.
I kind of like when books are like that, though, when it doesn't, but it feels like it is. Because it reminds me of The Boy, and I fucking love that movie. Just the first one.
Here we go.
I fucking hate the second one.
The second one was also supernatural, but it really was, though. Like, for real, for real.
It really was. I love that first one so much. And I kind of thought that was what this was going for, but then the ending happened. And I was like, oh. Wait, are ghosts real? So at the very end, time has passed and Ashley is in fucking prison. She killed a boy and hid the body. And so she asked Ethan, like, please, I know you never wanted this, but please take care of my son while I'm gone.
Can you just do that? Can you really just decide who can watch your child if something happens? Like, if you go to prison or if something happens to you?
I don't think so, because this is such a weird thing to say. I remember when my parents were working on their will. This is weird. They had to get approved who we would go to as children if something happened to both of them. And they picked my aunt, but then my aunt had to go through like this whole like, okay, but they need to make sure that she's financially okay to foster children.
Okay.
So I feel like there's a process. Like, you can't just be like, she's the one. No, she's got it.
I trust her.
Yeah, because then it's like, what if you can't financially handle this kid? But he adopts him.
Yeah, he does.
And Henry
calls him dad. He's like, I love you, Dad. Shut the fuck up, Henry.
It was really sweet because it was such a passing thing.
Yeah, it was like,
when
he was going to sleep or something.
Oh,
he's like, wow, I wasn't fucking ready for this.
What do you want for lunch? I'll make you anything you want. It was so sweet.
And then it was also revealed, I don't think at this moment, but it is revealed that Claudia has been gone this whole time. The ex-wife. I don't remember how she passed away though.
It was an accident.
Car accident?
It was a car accident, and it was totally, it just happened. The night it happened, he told her, like, I don't want kids because of this situation, but you would be a great mother, and if you want them, I'll have them with you. And she was just like, and then she walked out. So it wasn't like I don't know. There could have been more to that conversation. So the fact that she didn't come back, like, broke him. He explained it. It broke him more than when Billy died.
Yeah. That was so sad. I felt bad for him. He's been going through it.
They explain at the very end, too. Ethan was like, there were people coming to look at the house after figuring out that this had been solved. And then it immediately stopped because people realized, oh, it's a boring story.
Yeah, because Billy's story was kind of popular in the true crime community. But once they figured out what really happened, because everyone just assumed ghosts, which I feel like that's kind of a really good topic in a world where everyone wants something crazy in a true crime story.
Yep.
But yeah, it was just an accident, so it was too boring for them.
Oh, it hurts my heart.
He ends up staying in his parents' house, right?
Yeah, he does.
It's crazy because
his son.
Everyone else moved away. He was the only one left in the cul-de-sac.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, Ashley didn't move because she wanted to. She's in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone moved out, but good for them.
And Russ and him never rekindled their friendship because, you know, once you get accused of murder, there's no going back.
It was very much a domino effect because had Russ not done that, Billy still would have been alive. But then, like, who knows what else that would have affected. I don't know. There's just, like, so much.
So you're saying it's all Russ's fault. And you know what? I agree.
And that's why I hated him from day one, that bitch. No, I feel bad for all of them.
Yeah, me too.
That being said, I'll be honest, spookometer, non-existent in this one.
Yeah, it's not spooky.
Not spooky. It was an interesting read. I don't think I personally would have continued reading this had it not been for the podcast.
Really? At what point would you have stopped?
Probably when it started getting into all that like Hawthorne Institute stuff.
Why?
It just felt like convoluted for no reason. And then when it turned out there really was no reason for all that, I was like, oh, so you're just convoluted. So I really did care for the characters, but I think I could have just done without this book. It was okay. Someone else might really like it. It scored really high on Goodreads.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I'm going to give it like a 2.5.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of feel similar to you where, okay, I'm going to be honest. Confession session. So we have books all the time, book reads.
Yeah.
And when I had first started this book, I was so not into it. I got like a third into it. No, I got 50% into it. And I was like, I'll be honest, I don't know what the fuck happened. So I restarted the book over.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't know. I feel like the second time I read it, it really hit for some reason. I was so into it. I was like, damn, I really need to solve Billy's murder like tonight. I read it in one sitting. I was like, I need to find out who killed Billy and why. He was just a boy.
He was just a boy.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I agree with you where there was no reason for the Hawthorne stuff to have been there, but at the same time, I kind of get it because it kind of just fueled Billy's interest in ghosts. And, you know, him making that friendship with the Hawthorne guy. He was like, you know what? Ghosts are real. And I don't know. I kind of like that you think it's supernatural, but it's not. It was just an unfortunate event that happened.
Yeah.
And I really loved all of the characters. So for that, and actually I did like the plot, so I would give it like a 4.
Damn.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I almost gave it a 5, but no, I think it's a 4.
That's crazy.
I love this book. I thought it was so good.
Okay, well, I'm glad you like it.
I think I'm going to recommend it to my mother.
Really?
No. I mean, I would, but she's not going to read it. I think she would really like it, though.
Okay, why don't we... Oh, wait, I have to say my stuff. I listened to the other episode, by the way, that we filmed the week before this one comes out, where we both tried saying our own parts. That shit's so funny. We did we started off strong, and then you can see in both of us, we were like, what the fuck she say?
Well, because I blank out when you start talking. Well, in this part.
Thank you. Well, to any of us, or to any of you who are listening, thank you so much. If you are listening to us in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts on, thank you so much. If you can leave a rating of 5 stars, it literally takes 2 seconds to do and it makes a huge difference. That would be amazing. And if you would like to leave a review to recommend us our next story, that would also be great. What can they do if they have a little bit of extra money?
We do have a Patreon, and for right now, it really just serves as a way for our listeners to let us know that you appreciate our content, that you enjoy our content. You can find us on patreon.com/bookfix. But if you don't want the commitment of monthly, then you can find us on Ko-fi, which is ko-fi.com/thebookfix, or buymeacoffee.com/thebookfix.
If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because we post every Tuesday and every Thursday. If you want to follow us on social media, we do have a Goodreads, Threads, and an Instagram at The Book Fix Pod. And we also have a TikTok at The Book Fix. So at the end of our episodes, we like to read a positive and negative review of the book. And I think you found yours and I found mine.
No.
I
just saw that you were looking at the negative, so I was like, okay, I'm doing positive then.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read this negative review.
Okay.
Comes from Kasia Beja, who gave it a 1 out of 5, and they just wrote, like Billy, I wish my memories of reading this book would also just vanish. Thank you.
Okay, this comes from Provin. They gave it 5 out of 5, and they wrote, I'm a big fan of Riley Sager. he can't do anything wrong. This book was real nail-biting, page-turning roller coaster of a read. I enjoy his books because they mess with my mind, keep me on my toes, and they have the right amount of gore sprinkled in. I can't go wrong when I pick a Riley Sager read.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
It's only been 2 weeks since we've started spooky season.
Yeah, I think so.
I miss romance so much.
Really?
I miss it so much. You don't?
Well, we still have a long way to go, girlfriend.
Gosh.
We have a long list.
I just need someone to hold my hand through this. Wait, I have sicky hands.
I was gonna say my hands are moist.
Oh, it's okay. I would accept them anyway.